Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This is going to be a GrapheneOS security update. I kind of recorded this like about a week ago, and then they came up with another update. And in the video, I was like, I'll maybe test this. And I was like, why not just take the opportunity of just doing everything at once and kind of combining in one video. So GrapheneOS on I think the 4th or something, on October 4th of 2025, released a really important update. And I'm kind of gonna go over between this and their X post because it might matter. So essentially, the update 2025.100.900 is one of the changes in the releases should result in Google Messages RCS working for users who received a verification error caused by the Play Store, checking for an emulator with an easy bypass check. It was already working for many users without this, but it should get to work for everyone else. They pretty much raised the security patch level from 2025 10 to 5 since it's already provided without applying additional patches. System updater settings added support for forcing voice Wi-Fi availability. Settings improved the carrier configuration override by importing summarize and adding detailed descriptions and using clarifying the options force features to be available, since there are also toggles for directly enabling disabling the features in the main SIM settings screen. Sandbox Google Play compatibility layer fix. DroidGuard check pass Sandbox Google Play compatibility layer. Play Store ignore app auto install configs, and some other updates and patches. All the Android 16 security patches from the current November 2025, December 2025, and January 2026 Android security bulletins are included in 2025.100.901 security preview release. List of additional fixes CVEs. A list of CVEs. Added support for enforcing VoLTE and VoNR 5G for carriers for those who are supported with the standard configurations. Reverted backport for Pixel Wi-Fi extension Apex for Android 16 QPR1 due to its causing system server, some kernel updates, and some camera updates. But we're going to get to the based part of it. Something called the GrapheneOS Security Preview Release. This is very important, and hence why I scrapped my old video and why I'm here right now. I have enabled this. I'm going to be testing this in general based on the stability. I am an alpha tester. I test the alpha software because I'm retarded, I guess. But more importantly, this is something that I think people should take advantage of. If you are not a free and open source absolutist, which I kind of am, but on my phone, I care about security. If you are not a FreeBSD, programming sock, femboy type, then this might pertain to you in a good way. GrapheneOS has released something called the Security Preview Release Provider, an early access to Android security bulletin patches prior to the official disclosure. Our current security preview release provides the current revision of November 2025 and December 2025 patches for the Android open source project. They recommend enabling this. The only difference between our regular releases and security preview releases are the future Android security bulletin patches being applied with any conflicts resolved. The downside of the security preview releases is we cannot provide the sources for the patches until the official disclosure date. This is pretty much an embargo. The delay for being able to push these sources is why we're now going through with the significant effort of building 2 variants of each release. Our most recent 3 releases have both a regular and security preview variant. You can still enable the security preview release via settings, system update, receive security preview releases. Our plan is to keep it off by default with a new page added in the setup wizard, which will have it toggled on as a recommendation. Will prompt users existing installed to choose. That is how it should be done. Software should never be on by default. Stuff like this shouldn't be on by default. I should make the decision myself, even if it's recommended. At the end of the day, It is my phone, it is my choice, and it is my software. Free and open source software is a philosophy. Some people take it to the extreme and don't even have probably Wi-Fi cards in their PC. Or they go as far as Richard Stallman, who doesn't like to fucking use hotels and Wi-Fi in general, and asks his friend at 3 in the morning for an Ethernet card because he doesn't know if the Wi-Fi drivers are open source. That is the level of open source that should be respected. People should be able to make their own decision at the end of the day, even if it's recommended. I recommend people that care about security at a high threat model, that don't care about the fact that they are closed sourced for a short period of time until they are released. Essentially, think of it like closed source but to open source preview. They should be able to make that decision themselves. Even though it's recommended, GrapheneOS should maintain the idea that people should keep it off. And if they want to enable it, here are the instructions. Our plan is to keep it off by default, which I agree with. We're maintaining the upcoming Android security patches in a private repository where we've resolved conflicts. Each of the security preview release is tagged in the private repository. Our plan is to publish what we use once the embargo ends. So it will still be open source, but delayed. Keep that in mind. The new security update Android is using provided around 3 months of early access to OEMs with permissions to make binary-only releases from the beginning. As far as we know, GrapheneOS is the first to take advantage of this and ship patches early, which is a good thing from a security standpoint. So if you have a high threat model, definitely do this. Even the stock Pixel OS isn't doing this yet, which is crazy. This shows to the people that are like, why'd you pick the Google phone? Why did you pick blah, blah, blah? It's like, they can do this. They have early access to these patches. They're improving security and privacy on the Pixel devices, and they're improving security and privacy in Android in general. That is the point. During the initial month, many patches are added to change. By around the end of the month, the patches are finalized, with noting nothing else being added or changed. In 202.50.92500 release was made on the day of December 2025. Patches were finalized. We plan to ship them in March of 2026 patches. We plan to ship the March 2026 patches earlier. That might be important if security, again, is your highest threat model. Because a lot of these OEM vendors probably get these patches way out in advance. Android Security Bulletin, October of 2025 is empty. However, you can see the Samsung has a list of ASB patches of their October 25 release exclusively to flagships. It is a smaller subset of December 2025 patches. Android now discloses the patches around 3 months prior to inclusion in the bulletin, requiring them to raise the Android security patch level. However, OEMs are allowed to ship the patches as soon as they receive them. We are doing this in our security preview release, but with the full set of patches. That is amazing, incredible work. Appreciate it. I was told that the embargo may end soon. If someone is able to resurface engine the security patches and release the source code, effectively showing Google how silly the whole thing is, I agree. Pretty much GrapheneOS probably hates this to a certain degree. You can pretty much switch back into the regular releases without reinstalling, such as these releases, but this may change. They pretty much say right here, for all the people that are FUDs, they don't have any news about. It's not much reason to be worried about. This guy is still new news on QPR1 in Android open source project. How did it work? Where should it be? Don't have any news about it, but we much reason not to be worried about it. We're going to be able to get early access to new majority quarterly and yearly releases. Our plan is to get Google to authorize OEMs to release the source code on official release, so we won't depend on them. That'd be based. Android 16 was released in June 2025. GrapheneOS moved to that in a month. They've confirmed that the Pixel 10 models meet their requirements and will add support. They're working with major Android original engineer manufacturer on official support for some of their future devices. Pixels will still be supported. Does this mean support for good? So pretty much 100%. I say do this, increase your security, get the patches, even though they're not open source. Immediately, they will be when they're allowed to. GrapheneOS is trying not to get fucking sued into the ground, I'm assuming. That's my assumption. So major points. And yes, if you want to buy a Pixel 10 or 9 in 2025, you can. GrapheneOS says they support it from their mouth. I think they know better than all these FUDs and these retards going around saying that it's over and it's dead. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Make sure to like, sub, join all the chats, argue in the comments what's your favorite type of bread and what is the best Linux distro. Make sure to check me out in the next video. I will see you all in the next one.